When Helen Klein was 55 years old, her husband Norm came to her and asked her to train with him for a 10-mile run. She'd been smoking for 25 years, and she'd never run a mile in her life, but she agreed to try it out. However, panting and exhausting after running 2 laps of the track that marked off in their backyard, she wasn't so sure it was for her. But she decided to continue and each day run 1 extra lap further. 10 weeks later, she finished last, but she completed a 10-mile race. Spurred on with the success, Helen entered other short races, but realised that she was not blessed with amazing speed. So she decided to try longer, slower marathons. Since then, she has run more than 60 marathons and 140 ultramarathons. That's 33 miles or more. Here are a few highlights from Helen's remarkable achievements. At 66 years old, she ran 500-mile mountain trail events within 16 weeks. In 1991, she ran across the state of Colorado in 5 days and 10 hours, setting a world record for the 500,000-kilometre run. She also holds a world age record in the 100-mile run, and in 1995, at the age of 72, she ran 145 miles across the Sahara Desert and also completed a 370-mile eco-challenge, in which she rode 36 miles on horseback, hiked 90 miles through a broiling desert, negotiated 18 miles through freezing water-filled canyons, mountain biked 30 miles, rappelled down a 440-foot cliff, climbed 1,200 feet straight up, paddled 90 miles on a river raft, hiked another 20 miles, and finally canoed 50 miles to the finish line. Wow, what's your excuse? She also holds a world marathon record for an 80 to 85-year-old class, completing a 26.2-mile run in 4 hours and 31 minutes. Good morning, Anne-Marie. Remember that Helen had never run before the age of 55 years old. Her story is proof that it's really never too late to start. But it's also never too young to start. On the flip side of the coin, many people stop themselves by telling themselves they're too young to start, or they don't have enough experience yet to pursue their dreams. This is also quite a false notion. Consider this. A little boy called Ryan Ross at 12 years old, whom the media dubbed Tiny Trump. When he was 3 years old, he started a chicken and egg business in his back garden. He had 60 chickens and sold eggs for $3. A dozen eggs. He was making $15 a day. When he got tired of selling eggs, he started his next venture, a lawn mowing business. He charged his customers $20 an hour, but because he was too young to operate the lawnmower, he paid other kids $15 an hour and kept the $5 profit for himself. Now that's smart thinking. Next, his business was a power washing business for which he charged $200 an hour and paid someone $100 an hour to do the work. At the age of 5, Ryan was already investing profits in real estate, 5 years old. What's my excuse? In his hometown, Toronto, Ontario, and in British Columbia. And by the time he was 8, he owned 6 buildings. 8 years old, he owned 6 buildings and a personal net worth of $1 million. Ryan also engages in philanthropy that feeds his clothes families in the third world countries. He told me he was having lunch with the real Donald Trump the following week. When Alex Greven was 9 years old, HarperCollins first published his book, How to Talk to Girls, Morning Julie, which started out as a project for school. In the year after it came out, he appeared on Ellen DeGeneres, Late Night with Conor O'Brien, Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Within the first 3 months, his book made it onto the New York Times best-selling list. A year later, he published 3 more books, How to Talk to Mums, How to Talk to Dads, How to Talk to Santa. A year after that, at roughly 11 years old, he published Rules for School. His books are now available in 17 countries. And then there's the story of another Ryan. When he was 6 years old, he was shocked to learn that children in Africa had to walk many miles every day just to fetch water. So Ryan decided he needed to build a well for a village in Africa. By doing household chores and speaking to churches and schools and on clean water issues, Ryan was able to raise enough money to build his first well in the northern Uganda by the time he was 8 years old. Ryan's determination led to the Ryan Well Foundation, which raised $1 million and has completed 878 water projects and provided 1,120 latrines in 16 countries, that's WCs, to us, bringing access to clean water and sanitation for more than 823,000 people. That is a boy at 8 years old. Currently, 23-year-old Ryan has completed his studies in international development and political science at the University of King's College in Halifax on the east coast of Canada, still remains active with the foundation as a speaker and a board member. When Jaden was 13 years old, he started his own tech company, Veslo Technologies, specializing in web design and IT services. In 2 years, he grew the company from just 2 employees to 150 contracted workers and expanded into a global enterprise now worth $3.5 million at 13 years old. There were few adults who can say they grew a business into a multi-million-dollar business in just 2 years, let alone at that age. So by the age of 12, Brianna and Brittany Winner had completed their first novel, The Stan Prophecy, which was distributed nationally through Barnes & Noble, and by the end of the 10th grade, these identical twins had completed 4 novels, a screenplay, a guide to writing, a comic book, and get this, they're both dyslexic. So don't assume you need a college degree.